exploring is something where I feel like I would actually push the whole craft forward. I could give people something that they would enjoy.
Folks, welcome back. And going into this series, we were very excited to see what the underdog Anvorgesa can do. Kyle, let's actually start to unpack everything that happened in the first game of the series.
Well, I thought it was interesting, back and forth. NIP did as expected with a lot of early game aggression. Anvorgesa had some cool team fights. Will, what do you think?
Yeah, it was a pretty close game overall, but I mean, they had their moments, but in the end, the better team won. Rich, what was your assessment of the situation?
So I asked the questions around here, and now I think the real thing that I want to do is jump into some of those key moments. Why ask questions when we can just see them for ourselves? Kyle, unpack everything that's going down on the screen.
Well, you can see here, Chen Nick's pretty powerful support duo, especially when you've got Alina able to follow up. It was a really rough game for Chris Luck. He took a ton of pressure early on, and once Alina has a bit of a level and farm advantage, as you can see, it's just very simple to find kill after kill. I think that NIP coming into this was always going to have a wave clear advantage. You consider the Darkseer, Naga Illusions. It's just so difficult for the fights to be found from Anvorgesa when you consider that they just don't have that wave clear. They don't have the ability to shove lanes without being in them. And I think the support duo as well, not able to find activity.
Yeah, I want to talk about Nyx, because this is a hero that Nahaz really did value very high. Do you agree with Nahaz on his assessment, Kyle?
Yeah, I do.
Blitz, do you agree?
Yeah, I thought you were going to ask me first because you just went on spiel for a while. No, I think that what it does is it helps. It's like the rich get richer. It's hard to play against. You have to buy sentries at all times. It's just an annoying situation to deal with. Carapace is one of those abilities that every hero in the game really just hates playing against.
Yeah, and I feel like there was a lot of talk too about how people are actually building out different heroes, and when certain heroes get revitalized, like going for a Carapace build. Have there been any heroes in this meta, Kyle, that have also been revitalized due to different changes like that?
I think Troll got buffed from this really subtle thing, lifesteal working on illusions now. There are certain heroes that need lifesteal to function, and Troll I think is the biggest culprit in that, and all of a sudden you can match up against heroes like Naga a lot better.
Okay.
But yeah, that's like a conversation for another time.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely have that conversation. Maybe while we're on break, Kyle. I'll be looking forward to that. Love
Are you
to chat
sure?
with you.
Because we didn't really have many conversations about Dota while we were on break, Rich.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? What am I
Do
talking?
not pull black right now.
That's not where I was going with this. I just think that if the Twitch chat and our viewers were to Google the 1 in a million music video, they'd find something very interesting. That's all. I'd love to see that share.
Guys, do
in the chat
not
you love so
do
much.
not look up the 1 in a million music video by Andrew Rayel. Stay tuned right here and continue watching the stream. This is the StarLadder Minor, and you don't want to miss any of the action because it's coming down to the wire here. Very quickly, we are going to be getting to that final series of the day, which will be an elimination series, and set the stage for tomorrow when we figure out the 2 teams that will go to the grand final and the major. You don't want to tune in anywhere else to see those fresh memes, because we'll be cooking up right here on the analyst desk, aka the meme kitchen, right, Blitz?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's no other reason to watch Rich's other content.
Especially when we've got Dota 2. Although I will say, I have a feeling NIP is going to take this in a clean sweep. I just think it's... you can even see like the way this game plan is put together. It's low risk. Anvorgesa said they need team fights. NIP, the Ion Shell, they spread illusions. You've got creeps, nicks off map. They're playing with more information. And if you're the better team, the more experienced team, and you have a huge vision lead, how do you find fights without vision, without somebody that can actually get down and dirty and create those openings for your team?
So I think one of the major things when you start saying this could be a clean sweep is to ask how Anvorgesa could manage to get the victory. And I think another thing that we saw today before we even do discuss that is just the fact that even within this minor, obviously some of the teams that are in the minor are not going to be in the same caliber of the teams that we watch at different things like the major, those top caliber teams. But there's a very clear tier list of these teams, and even within the top 4, we're seeing some squads pull ahead.
I mean, it's just pretty simple, I think. When you look at Dota, you just put the teams from Europe and you just bet on them, and usually you win. And that's would have worked for you pretty much the entire year. I think China comes in at a close second, and then everyone else. CIS and A probably tied. SCA as well, but it's really just been stand-up performances from all the European teams throughout the year. And it's tough when you consider, like, NIP and Alliance. Like, previously, one of these teams wouldn't be at the minor. This is, like, they'd have one shot to get to the major. This is rough. I don't think Alliance, what are they? They're 13th right now in the DPC standings, right? But they're number 5 in Europe. Yeah, so you actually can't get to the major from that region. It's just a rough spot to be in.
So we were talking about this desk being the meme kitchen. We're going to step into the composition kitchen here, which is our draft, NIP versus Anvorgesa. And Blitz, what do you want to see Anvorgesa put together to attempt to bring this at least the distance to a game 3 against NIP?
I'm not really sure, because I actually like elements of their draft. I think maybe their support duo, the team fight aspect of it is really cute, but at the same time it requires like high execution, and it requires your 2 supports to be together at all times. Whereas PPD and Soxa were able to play pretty independent last game. Yeah. I'd like to see maybe more of a killer on their 4th position rather than just have somebody that your support duo works when I think there's like better combos out there. Like before in the past it was the Lich plus Grimstroke one. That's like an auto win sort of combination. Whereas like the Warlock one is good, but
yeah, I think the SF is the big problem. They needed something that could make plays for them that isn't Blink reliant, and CK is going Midas, Axe is going Vanguard into Blink. It takes too long to get online, and then when you're finally ready to go, your lanes are always pushed.
Yeah, and that's always been one of Chris Luck's downfalls. Is just like the Euro pool. They banned out the TA first 3 last game, just made things really easy for themselves. Maybe they're daring Anvorgesa to pick it this time around.
I think they do. If I'm Anvorgesa, I'm picking it for sure.
It's his best hero, right?
Yeah, and it's something that a lot of players are frustrated with because it feels like TA is just unbeatable in the laning phase. You know, you can counterpick him all you want, but at the end of the day, you know, it's what other hero can take ancient stacks at like 8 minutes in and do them as easily as TA. Like it costs you like 2 refractions in 30 seconds, and you're clearing a 4 stack.
Before we talk more about the draft, obviously we're going to get some more information here. It's going to be tiny to open up for Anvorgesa.
They won so many games with Tiny.
What'd you say?
They won like 3 games in a row with Tiny.
I feel like the thing is, though, that keeps popping into my mind is just the fact that we watched a bunch of these teams, they looked phenomenal, and now that they're running into the squads that are still remaining here on our first day of bracket play, it just seems like they're playing in a different league. Like, I can't stop thinking of it because yesterday I feel like everybody put Sirius so high. People aren't discrediting what Sirius should be able to do.
Just saying that because your mom picked them to win.
You did as well.
Yeah, but
You did.
And Nahaz did also. Like, literally every analyst, including my mother, believed that Sirius was going to win yesterday. And you have to look at what caused such intellectual people to make that decision. And honestly, it's the matchups that Sirius had, most likely. And that's just an indication of an unlevel playing field between a lot of these teams, right? Well, even as far as the game's concerned, but uneven as far as skills concerned. Potentially some of these classes
the thing
getting
is,
outclassed.
I think the skill gap doesn't really exist anymore. It's far more about team play, execution, and your draft. And to like Will's point, we discussed it, but StarLadder playing a Razor in Game 3, I think is the biggest problem with what Sirius did today. You can't. It was the same argument I was talking to the complexity guys earlier. If you handicap yourselves before you play the game of Dota, it's easy to look bad because you just don't have those tools. You don't have those options. And that's why I like the way NIP formulates their lineups, because they put themselves in a position where they can always win the game. They can abuse something, be that map movement, their late game, their team fight, their pick off, wave clear. They have a method of outplaying you and winning. And if you don't have that, it's not possible to play perfect. Spirit Breaker. All right, I like it.
Warlock SB opening.
Yeah, you pop the bulldoze and have a billion status resist, and Mag RP actually doesn't even touch you.
I mean, Mag's a really slow hero, though.
Yeah, but it's a method of acquiring vision as well. You low damage, but because you have the Warlock, you don't mind as much. And I think Warlock really appreciates, to your point, having this high roaming 4 position. You don't want to have a backline support with the Warlock.
Warlock already provides all the team fight that you need between
Exactly.
a 4 and a 5.
Yep.
So really, you just need some guy that can run in for you, that can make plays. Like the word that I used earlier was a killer. Like you want a killer on your team when you have a support like Warlock.
Yep, 100% agree.
Okay, so we're going to be looking for some things like that as we keep moving forward in the draft. Are both of these teams playing pretty much what you expected, though, at the beginning of the day, Kyle? Like, are they falling into the same hero pool that we've seen them lean on?
Let's see. I mean, Anvorgesa is doing what I wanted. Grimstroke Warlock first game, Magnus this game. So, simple to execute, high power level drafts. I just don't think that of all the drafters, I think Puppy and Peter are the ones that prefer giving you what you want in comparison to, say, Bulba, who would prefer to just remove your strongest strategies. And I think that when you play into his hands, it's always going to put you at a disadvantage, much like they were in the first game. I don't expect NIP to be unprepared for these mag strats. I think the Spirit Breaker is pretty cool in the sense that, what do you have to do? You have to find this Magnus. You want to target him first, so you just wait for charge vision and you go for it. Ban the Ember, I think very good decision. Anvorgesa need that. I think they really suffer when they don't have playmakers.
Playmakers is what you're looking for right now?
Yeah.
What playmakers would you be looking for here, Will?
I don't know, because when you have Mag on your team, it's a little bit weird. You're going to have a carry that naturally wants to utilize the Empower at all times and just kind of AFK farm. So, your mid hero has to be the one that just, goes and does it, but maybe, I don't know, some Storm, some Ember, some guy that can just, run in or, do stuff around the map. Ember's banned, though, and NIP is aware because of this opening. They're like, let's just take away the playmakers, make life easy for ourselves.
Okay, so playmakers definitely going to be our focus right now as far as what type of heroes we are looking for.
I mean, you can't really pick Jug if you're Anvorgesa, right? Because there's 2 different ways to... The best part about Jug is the spin TP. And you have 2 different ways to cancel that are pretty easy, actually.
I think they're looking at Troll after the bat ban.
I mean, it has to kind of be Troll.
Oh.
There's really... your options are sort of limited especially once Wraith King got taken out. I don't think you can pick Jug because of the Spirit Breaker and the Warlock. So it comes down to the Troll almost by default.
Yeah, you could do maybe PA or something. That just feels really awkward. It's not good.
They have a lot of BKB peers.
Monkey King.
Oh, of
Monkey
course,
King.
Monkey King. I should have seen that one coming. That's they picked that 2 games in a row with the mag. Arguably the best combo with it because you give him a farming tool. Monkey King already, you just love having the damage steroid on the hero. Plus, you drop the Wukongs on an RP, and pretty much everything inside of it's going to die.
Yeah.
We saw that in the game they won Game 3 yesterday against D-Home.
I think they're 2-0 with Monkey King, and they might
Yeah.
be 3-0 with Tiny.
5 seconds
So they are getting
remaining.
their preferred heroes this time around.
Yep. Explains the bad ban as well, along with the Quap.
Yeah.
And if you're Nip, though, this is a team I wouldn't mind seeing a Razor come out. And maybe not with this pick, but especially with Ember Band, it's very powerful here. It's one of Fada's best heroes, and I love it when you have something like a Spirit Breaker. Like, the support duo complements it, because you don't have Disable. Spirit Breaker allows you to get the vision for the link off at the start of a fight, and Warlock helps to negate your damage concerns. You also have a lot of spread AoE that synergizes with the Fatal Bonds.
Okay, so we're already seeing for Anvorgesa, they're very much in their comfort zone. They have a lot of the heroes that have allowed them to even get this far in the tournament, make it to that bracket. Team that a lot of people did count out when we first did get here. Now NIP. Pugna. We haven't seen very much Pugna in this tournament at all, Kyle.
It's a unconventional hero. It's been nerfed a bit and just fallen out of favor. I think because it's squishy. The Nyx has been very prominent. I think Oracle as well is quite good against it, but it's cool here. Same concept. Spirit Breaker is going to provide you a ton of lockdown, get some damage.
10
In addition,
seconds remaining.
the decrep defensively will prevent all of this Anvorgesa mass
5
physical damage, because we
seconds
can expect them to take another physical damage core here. Their magic DPS is quite low, so you have now save, plus the counter initiation of the Warlock, and it's tower pressure as well. You can already see in the 3 heroes of NIP, like they've addressed a lot of the weaknesses that you need to ensure your draft covers, notably wave clear, tower pressure, stuns, team fight.
Will, is this a solid Pugna, or is this not it?
I think it's pretty good. I think that it's great against a Monkey King. And it doesn't show too much because you can still put it in the offlane as well, if you absolutely need to. Like it's a flexible pick anyways.
You think it's flexible?
Yeah.
Radiant
Okay.
team pick.
Anvorgesa now going to be locking in Bane.
Oof.
Also another thing that we haven't seen in a little while.
I hate that hero against Warlock Spirit Breaker. You're never going to get a grip off, and it's that same concern where if you pick heroes like Bane Mag that need to play around the outskirts of team fights, they get charged at any point. There's nothing you can do to stop them. Plus, especially with the change to Bulldoze, you can't actually CC Spirit
10
Breaker anymore.
seconds
You sleep him,
remaining.
you ult him, it's like a second long.
Yeah.
He just runs at you.
We'll see
5
where
seconds remaining.
NIP decide to go with this Pugna though. I love flexible picks like this.
Yeah. And they can play it from their 1 to their 3. It'll be a Fada or a 3-3 hero, but I do agree. I think Razor is still a possibility, but you have a ton of options now if you're Nip. I wouldn't be surprised to see a DK come out. Some sort of DK Razor, complement the Pugna. I think Luna could be a
Dire
possibility
team
as well. Or even better, Lone Druid. Like, perfect. It's just more tower pressure, more
That's gonna
CC.
be- That'll be a 3300, right?
Yeah, I think so. And a Fata. It could be Ace. Could definitely be Ace, actually.
Yeah.
I think Core Lone Druid's actually quite good against the Mag. You get the Radiance timing. The blink will be canceled at all times.
They
you can
love-
fear the Monkey King out of his ultimate.
They love having 33 on this Lone Druid though. They love him on micro heroes in general.
Yeah.
10 seconds
It does make, yeah, I
remaining.
would agree, actually. I mean, Ace is excellent, the micro heroes, too. I would
5
say, I just feel like
seconds
it's easier to find an offlaner to complement the Lone Druid at the
The
moment
cool
than a
part is
core.
like that pick is still again, as you really know, Rich. It's flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we've been talking about flexibility a lot, both on and off camera.
Yeah.
And we're going to be seeing it embodied in this draft fully.
It's great too, because now there's a ton of different directions drafts could go, and PPD has the luxury now of picking out that 1 in a million that makes his draft just perfect.
Yeah.
You would say that this pick was 1 in a million, Kyle? Really?
That's exactly what I would say. Well, the draft itself, there's a lot of different permutations based on the opening bands,
Yeah.
picks. You really never know where your life or your draft will take.
Yeah, it's really difficult to know exactly how all of those permutations do shape up. Lucky for us, we have an analytical partner in SAP to keep us on the path of big, true numbers.
It's always nice. Because math can't lie, right?
Can't.
Numbers don't lie. It's not possible. They don't know how.
That's why I always
10
trust Alan.
seconds remaining.
Same.
Okay.
5 seconds
Not really
remaining.
anywhere to go with that one, but
It was just a statement of
Yeah,
fact.
that's all.
yeah,
I wasn't,
Yeah,
it
there
wasn't
was
meant to be like
there
a
was a
quip.
period at the end of the sentence. So.
Yeah.
Dire team
Uh, Speaking of a period at the end of the sentence, Sven, going to be the final punctuation for NIP.
Yep.
How do we like rounding everything out with the Sven, Kyle?
It's cool. It gives them more tools to kite and peel, right? You now have the war cry, you have the defensive decrep, the fear, the warlock counter initiation. You've got so many methods of taking the fight you want as NIP. And it's that same concern I had in the
10
previous game
seconds
for
remaining.
Anvorgesa, which is like, all right, you've got this team fight. You want to hit the RPs.
5
You want to
seconds
scale, but
remaining.
you don't have tower damage. You don't have any method of acquiring vision. And you can't, like, Nip are never going to be contained in the kill zone of the Wukongs naturally, because they're going to be moving around at light speed. And I don't know what pick you get here. It's got to be like a TA, but it's not a good TA game at all.
Templar
Yeah,
assassin.
it's to be expected.
Select
It's
your
just
heroes.
Well,
this is such a bad TA game.
why do you feel bad about the TA?
Oh, it's terrible against Lone Druid. You don't come online fast enough, and NIP is going to be able to apply a ton of pressure. It's a great matchup in theory against the Sven, but it's the sum of the parts of NIP that I think give this draft its flair. It's to me like a 90-10. I just don't see the tools.
90-10?
90-10, yeah.
Numbers
I think this is-
can't lie. Then
Numbers
uses,
don't lie, dude.
Then using numbers to do his bidding. Blitz, do you agree with that? 90-10.
90-10
You want
is.
the over the under.
I mean, 90-10 is real high. I would say like, I don't even know why. I think that I'm just gonna say that I think NIP's lineup is favored.
Okay, yeah. This is why we leave numbers to the experts here, and we allow SAP to generate all of our numbers and not Kyle. But why do you go as far as 90-10? I've never heard you take that dramatic of a stance.
It's just they have the tools to win the game, and Anvorgesa. What is so funny?
Nothing, dude.
Kyle,
You got to be professional, man. Step up your game.
Kyle's
Continue.
he's used to casting. He's not used to paneling.
All right,
It's totally
guys,
fine. But you
look.
know who else is used to casting? The two casters that we have waiting. Let's jump straight into this game and let Kyle have a second to shut up.
Well, hopefully. Yeah, we're really good casters here. I'm good at intro. And Syndren's really good at casting too with his silent nod of agreement to my analysis. Welcome everybody to Game 2 of Anvorgesa versus Ninjas in Pyjamas. Kyle, 90-10. Do you agree, Syndren?
I think that's a bit extreme, perhaps, but I think when you take in all the factors, I would
Yeah.
kind of agree with
Yeah.
the better team, the team that won game 1, the team that seems to have momentum, and then on top of it, the draft timings. I would agree with it. If it was blind draft and I didn't know the teams and you asked me, I think it would be a bit closer because it comes down to timing and execution. But NIP showed a great execution in game 1, so
What
I'm
about,
expecting more of the same.
What about the Kyle curse? Does that offset the 90-10 prediction at all, or?
He's got to be right at some point, right?
That's true.
It's
It's just the laws of probability.
It wasn't last
They
game,
have to go
but
into
I did
his
hype it
favor.
up. I hyped it up last
Yeah?
game that this could be a world first.
Yeah.
I feel a lot more confident about it this time that Kyle will be right here. Oh boy, we're gonna get a game 3, aren't we?
Especially since you just backed him up. I feel like it. A Monkey King is going to turn into a cute little courier. I believe that's the Virtus Pro one, right? And he's going to make his way. Is he going to do into the base and try and pick off the courier? I feel like no pro team is going to get caught off by that. It happens all the time in pubs, but
It's one of those things that's fun where when it's in the meta, it will never work. But then nobody plays against Monkey King for a month, and then you're like, oh man, I forgot about Monkey King. The players are humans too, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, it can work. It only works if you try, though.
I didn't
And
ask
he's
you.
not trying.
Why is it such a bad draft? Why is it so favorable for Ninjas in Pyjamas?
I mean, I don't think the dire draft in isolation is awful or like not even bad. But you have to look at the tempo of this game. You have one side that plays Mag and TA, which is very defensive ingredient, needs to farm up.
Yep.
And the other team has absolute bulldoze lineup, including the Spirit Breaker, right? But
Yeah.
they just take towers so fast. Pugna, Lone Druid, and then they have the team fight of the Warlock to back it up if the enemy team does try to defend. I think it's really hard for Anvorgesa to get the time that they need. But again, that's why the Radiant is favored. But if the Dire are to win this game, it's because the Radiant, 1 or 2 of their pushes fail and they lose a fight, and that buys enough time. It's just hard to see that happening, but we'll see.
I could definitely see the timing window you're talking about. Every single time the TA is going to go to farm Ancients, which is arguably her biggest strength off of the laning phase, then you're going to have a Pugna banging on that mid-tier 1 tower. If you rotate a little bit too much, you're going to have 33 very quickly taking towers as well. We've seen the way that Matamba Man was able to use Lone Druid on his former team of Liquid and just bulldoze the first. He just would go tier 1 to tier 1 to tier 1 and take them all out by 15 minutes. So that's going to be a lot of map control loss for a lineup that, as you said, needs time to farm with their Ancients and Cleave farming.
You already see the build that he's planning, right? With the, he wants to go Blightstone Mask of Madness on the Bear. It's the highest pushing efficiency build you can buy. It's the highest attack speed per cost to get building. So already preparing for the game plan in his inventory.
The Grab 5 being used to get the deny on the range creep. Well worth the mana cost given how important the range creeps are for experience and gold. So Fada's already doing really well in this matchup against the TA 7-4, 5-2. Our top lane is going to be the Spirit Breaker, who's had some decent success in this tournament, paired up with a Sven into the Magnus.
Yeah, they're just going to be farming. Sven will not miss a single creep, more or less, in this lane. It's pretty straightforward, especially when they pull it behind the tower. And this way they get some good levels in Soxa too. And the goal of the Spirit Breaker is obviously to just set up fights and make moves happen. Because that's one thing the rest of the lineup doesn't do too well. But if you have a tool of starting the pressure, you know that if you pull off a couple of kills, you're going to get towers.
Yeah.
Oh, that is an attempt from Bane here. It's level 1 and has an Invis rune, but
yeah, what is he?
I'm not sure what the plan is.
What's he going to do?
He's going to walk by. But they won't even know.
Vada actually not really reading that situation correctly. I think he thought the refraction was one less instance and thought he was going to get a big blast hit onto Chris Luck. Doesn't happen though, and he actually turns around and does a lot of damage to Fada. Jericho shows up the top lane. Maybe he just felt like they needed to dual lane. Whisper was getting shut out too much.
It's not only that, it's also, are they doing enough bottom? If you're not putting enough pressure on this Lone Druid, you're going to end up massively under-leveled, and Lone hits level 5 and he's going to crush your tri-lane because none of you has levels.
Yeah.
But I can say that this Monkey King matchup is really annoying to play. Playing against Lone Druid as Monkey, when Lone hits 5, your laning is just...
Oh, it makes me
he's
so
not going to
happy.
be happy.
Honestly, I hate Monkey Kings. As an off-lane, I just can't stand him. It almost makes me want to play Lone Druid just because of how badly he messes Monkey King up.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can't do it. Sorry.
No, it's true.
It's true.
Please, micro heroes are way out of my depth. There's a reason I did not try and play Warcraft 3. I went to Dota because I was like, 1 unit's good enough for me. Fatal Bonds onto 2. Anvorgesa trying to chase down Jericho. Gets a little bit of a heal, but it's not good enough. First blood going to Ace. And a lot more damage onto Whisper as well, thanks to the Fatal Bond. So good rotation from the Warlock, and he just doesn't need to be in the lane with the Lone Druid. Another advantage of this pick for 33.
Yeah, in my opinion, the dream lane for Lone Druid most of the time is playing alone in the safe lane. I think it's the best lane for you. You're pretty safe. Oh, hang on. Top lane
That's
again.
going to be a lot of damage. Nightmare. That'll help Whisper Tosh a little bit damage, but it looks like with the Shadow Word and just one more shot from Peter will definitely secure it. It does. There is going to be Shockwave, pulls Peter back into the tower for a little bit more damage, but Jericho can't get the counter kill. So the Zagor tri-lane from Ninja's Pyjamas continues to succeed.
Looking for a bit of aggression bottom onto this Lone Druid, but he's such a tough kill. He has the point in Savage Roar if he needs it. He shares the health with the Bear, obviously. That's the kind of hero that it sucks to gank as Tiny.
K1 was already so low, he's going to toss the Lone Druid into the Monkey King, but not realizing that Soxa was on his way. Stinger has made a critical error that might get himself killed as well. Fortunately, 33 is not quite level 5, so no opportunity for the Root. But they will get bounty runes everywhere. 3 bounty runes for Nip.
Yeah.
We saw they had an advantage for that last time. Stinger again is going to go for the toss back onto 33, but the Savage Roar just pushed them away. And I don't know when Stinger's going to learn his lesson, but it's not so easy to kill 33's Lone Druid.
Now he got the level 5. Monkey King needs to evacuate this lane or needs more help. He will. Yeah. This will happen a couple of times, and then he has no health left. Just look at 33 go to town. Just one root gives 450 damage in total. And Monkey's going to ditch. I think he's going to buy TP Scroll and get the hell out of here. Phase boots for now. if he does stay here, he needs this kill. Somebody has to set him up, because he actually can't go into the creep wave when this Lone Druid Bear comes back. He's going to salve himself. Oh, well, maybe the initiative is just going to be taken by the other side. Oh, okay. Not fast enough. He didn't have the mana for Bulldoze. It costs 25, and he was out of mana for it. It's a bit sad.
That Spirit Breaker mana pool is not great.
Regen as well. I think Saksa might just take this one instead of leaving it for Fata and try to make a move with it. Oh, it's going to get
a lot of damage onto the Templar Assassin. The charge in from Saksa is going to get canceled. They don't really need to get the kill after all, as Fata has shown before. He just puts high priority in trying to protect the Siege Wagon, and with the Decrepify, he'll protect Saksa as well. Now, he's still trying to limp away, and Stinger will not have the toss-up in time.
I can combine onto the Shrine now. Fata could use a little bit of mana and health if he farms a camp or two here with blasts, then he's a bit unlucky. He has 2 golem camps. They suck for Pugna. For most heroes, actually. There's a couple of heroes that love them, but it's not one of them.
Our TA is top CS, second net worth though, and is going to be losing his tower pretty soon. A nice skewer onto 2 with the Avalanche on top of the Warcry is helping them tank up quite a bit though. It's enough to be able to burst down Peter Pan Dam, and the reason Ace was fighting so much, he was baiting them, as Fata said that he was on the way. Helps get a counter kill, heads back to mid where he wants to be able to take that tier 1 away from the Templar Assassin.
And he needs to protect his own as well. TA is pushing in the wave pretty quickly. Oh, he could be in trouble though. Oh, there's no life drain.
Oh, that TA trap did so much work. That was a big change for the Spirit Breaker. Was great when you have someone like Darkseer on your team who could surge you up, make your charge that much faster, but certain slows kill your charge. The Templar Assassin certainly did its work there. Nice toss back skewer into the tier 1 tower, but it actually wasn't quite in range. They don't get a shot there. Fortunately, the Avalanche, and actually maybe they needed every bit of damage till the Shockwave from Whisper. So level 3 was enough. Stinger charged up. Ace didn't immediately make his way over here. Maybe in part because he didn't have the Storm Hammer up anyway. Really surprised K1's down to just stick it out in this lane. Eventually, he's going to get rooted, feared up, and even if he does a lot of damage to the bear, he could just resummon or TP it back.
Yep. He chose the resummon this time. I actually thought he was going to port it back to base for the free heal, but wants to keep up the pressure. I reckon he wanted to resummon it here just because he has this big wave to put pressure on the Monkey King with. Even if he doesn't damage the tower, he wants to deny all of these creeps.
Yeah, that's smart.
Mid lane, I have to defend again.
TA traps helping to protect. Stinger really wants to be able to get a toss. They're going to run into the tier 1 tower area as far back as possible to help get the kill on Saksa. Once again, Fata always has an answer with the Decrepifying, with the double damage rune. Again, he's not worried about kills. He's not worried about creeps. He's just slowly chipping away at the towers, as is 33. And that's why the Magnus has got to rotate over here. They're finally going to swap things up with the Monkey King. But it's not like Whisper is going to have a good time either.
No, absolutely not. What level is Empower? Level 2. Okay, so the thing that's going to bring Anvorgesa into this game is if they can defend their towers and start using Empower to farm up their Monkey King, because his game is too bad right now to pose any threat for an IP for a while.
Yeah.
So Root, charge.
Follow-up from Saksa, trying to go for the skewer, but is going to be feared up first. Another bash. Whisper finally gets the skewer, but he's already taken so much damage, and with the bear, they can just keep on diving. All these units from Nip are going to be so tanky. You've got the Warcry, the Lone Druid, bear, as well as the Spirit Breaker, one of the tankier supports in the game. They're not afraid of diving towers.
That was almost musical, the way that happened. He ran in, got the root, then they got the charge. I thought he was going to root again, but then they got a greater bash, and all that was missing was a final root for that to be the perfect RNG. But yeah, got the job done regardless, and like you said, the pressure is just overwhelming Anvorgesa right now. Top tower is being pushed. They already lost mid. They're losing bottom. This is the 10-minute mark. NIP looking to get 4 bounty runes from all their lane pressure as well.
Jesus.
It's just, this dire lineup needs time, and who's going to buy it when you lose all 3 lanes? TA is not going to make any moves. Monkey King can't make moves for this level right now. It's unrealistic for him to pull anything off. And the support duo, Tiny Bane, on paper it sounds good, but they need someone to gank for.
Yeah.
And how do you activate the Monkey King? He's currently jungling, so that's not really very good.
Really taking advantage of the fact they don't have a playmaker out of their core, so we're going to see the Magnus almost die here, but 33, I mean, he understands very well. He doesn't need to go for the kills, much like Fada was doing, where they just know to apply the pressure, threaten these heroes, force rotations, yes, but ultimately, let's just focus on continuing to take towers and map control away from Anvorgesa.
Yeah.
Dire's top tower.
I can tell you that laning against 33's Lone Druid is really difficult. He is exceptionally mechanically skilled on this hero in lane. So if he has a favorable matchup and he's ahead on levels, he will bully anyone away. He doesn't care. Some games come to mind watching him rush Solar Crest and just be an absolute nuisance with the fast attack speed of the bear and be super tanky. Looks like in this game he's going to go back for a Radiance instead of the Mask of Madness. Nope, he changed his mind. Okay, so it is still going to be the Mom, and this bottom tower is going to fall now as well. Fearing him away maybe just to secure it. Nope, it's just going to hit him and take it. And NIP are also pushing top tower. Anvorgesa just
stopping.
Anvorgesa looking lost, honestly.
Yeah, they do manage to get a Fiend's Grip here, but that's going to be Savage Roared off in 33. Deal with Stinger, who's going to try and go for a toss back on the real hero. 33 turns around. He's trying to make it so the bear tanks the toss instead, but the bear is going to be tossed on top of him. They do, finally. Anvorgesa gets something, but they did give up a tier 2 a top lane for it.
Yeah. Oh, charge.
And they may still lose the fight as well. Sox is going to come in with his ultimate Nether Strike bounce into the Nether Blast. 7-3, 6,000 net worth lead already for Ninjas in Pyjamas. It's looking good for Kyle and for Ninjas in Pyjamas.
But mainly for Kyle.
But mainly for Kyle.
He needs
Kyle will be more happy than Nip
He
is.
needs to win the most. Yeah, this is just, it's kind of reminiscent. There was this patch when, I think it was when the new Night Stalker came out with the, or maybe it was slightly after with the Dark Ascension. NIP had like 2 playstyles. They had one which was like really heavy push.
Yep.
And they had one which was really heavy fighting that they were running. And this is so reminiscent of those times. They would just take games off secret by running them over in 20 minutes with like a Dragon Knight strategy or a Lone Druid strategy or Pugna. And it's just coming together here. They have very good read on... I think this is what you risk when you first phase mag like this, is when you're playing against a team that likes playing this style, you're inviting them to play aggressively. They will want to go and push your towers. And they have the execution to go with it.
In the first 20 minutes, Mag can't start fights for you. He really is usually just coupled with some heroes that want to be able to farm.
Yeah.
Like, who actually jumps and gets anybody on the back line? Well, that'd be the Monkey King, but as you said, he has not had a good enough game to be able to do so. I haven't seen what items he's gotten for a while, but his net worth is not looking great, sitting at only 4K.
Yeah, he's going for an Echo Saber, but not having the Saber yet, not even close. He needs another 1,000 gold before he gets there, and this is... a Radiant team that's high-grounding you, minute 13. Fata has the lens, he has a bottled haste in case he needs to get out of trouble.
Well, maybe this is where Ninjas in Pyjamas get a little too big for their britches, overextend themselves, and Anvorgesa makes the big comeback.
That is absolutely how they can lose this game, right? They need to set up Anvorgesa for success. They need to give them a good fight, and they're not doing it right now. They're just back off. They forced them back to base on 4 heroes. They're like, job well done, let's control the map. Maybe get Roche, maybe get bottom tier 2 tower if they want.
It's like Nip heard me, and they're like, you're right. That would make the game pretty exciting. Let's back it up and just continue to suffocate Anvorgesa, and maybe we'll get a Roshan at, you know, anytime we really want because we've got so much map control. 3-man smoke up for Anvorgesa. Because Nip is not going to take to fight to them on their high ground, they're going to try and make the first move here. They can't really wait for their items any longer. They've been bleeding out far too many objectives.
Oh, Fata could break the smoke here. His haste just ran out. He might get caught, but there's nobody near. This is such a weird move.
Yeah, Bane was sitting mid thinking he was going to make a play there while Tiny invaded the jungle. That was the most nonsensical smoke gank I've seen in my life.
That was very strange. They just split up. They smoked and split up and did different things. So maybe the call was just this smoke isn't going to work. Let's just go and do something else. But there's a charge.
Chris Luck. Going to be found by Soxa, Ace, and 33, closing in fast. That's why Stinger's got to create some space with the Avalanche, give him enough time to be able to TP out or something. But Chris Luck is going to be found by the Savage Roar. A Skewer RP, that's a good setup, but the Golem's going to be able to stall on any damage. And to be honest, they don't have any damage to throw down anyway, because the Warcry was going to take up any physical damage the TA could have done. And Chris Luck didn't even try and hit once. He just hid inside his meld until he died.
Monkey King was top during the whole fight, and Bane TP'd out. So this RP is a 2-on-5 fight they just set up for themselves. They look broken. in this game. There is just not much good happening for Anvorgesa. They're not really trying to make moves as a unit. It's not easy to do either. I mean, you have to try, right? You can't just sit back and get crushed like this, but it's one of those moments where the fight you're going to take is likely unfavored, but you have to try it because the alternative is worse. So go for that 20% chance play instead of going for no play at all. But they haven't used the Monkey King ulti. He hasn't played an aggressive move with Mag, and now they might start paying in serious buildings and face this bear. Oh my god. That's a tower. Okay.
33 Bears open. The Rax is at bottom lane after taking the tier 3. And with a 9,000 net worth leads and no real way to start a fight, Anvorgesa probably going to find their buildings just chipped away. I mean, the normal play from teams would be like, okay, we took through tier 3, let's go back and hit shrines. Nip feels so confident that Anvorgesa can't successfully fight them that
they don't have RP?
They're going to poke at Draxes, so no RP. No fun. Okay, they back up now. Immediately a 5-man smoke, but just playing the high ground. And that smoke's going to be ruined. K1 doesn't even try and jump into the trees. He's a little bit scared of that, as he should be. Sox is going to go for the Nether Strike onto the Monkey King, and he can charge away to the right-hand side. They're going to finish off the Bane. The Avalanche onto 2, trying to get away from Ace if he can. Chris Luck jumping forward, trying to kill Peter Pan Dam, but to be honest, that man does not have the golem anyway. A big swing from K1, finishes off the 5 position. They get on top of the shrine now. The Wukong's command goes out as well. Anvorgesa with the buybacks will be able to force 33 and the rest of Ninja's Pyjamas away, and maybe even get a kill here. They're going to toss Ace back in. A long jump from the Monkey King actually gets knocked mid-air by Sox as he charges on through. They're going for Fada now, but the Decrepify is buying a lot of space, and the Bear just keeps on going to work. The Skewer back into 3 with an RP. Good. Another back hit with the side blades. They're kicks to all these heroes. The Avalanche on top, and that's it. They got wiped there by Ninjas in Pyjamas. Finally, Whisper finds the opening. Anvorgesa tried and tried and tried again, and finally they found success.
That was big. That was a dieback from Fata too. Was that a 5-for-1? And the only guy they lost was the Bane. That's an awesome fight for Anvorgesa.
That's a 6-for-1 because they started off with Peter dying.
Oh yeah, you're right. The whole team died. Yeah, 6-for-1. Okay. Unfortunate for them, it wasn't around an objective or around bounty runes, but this is about as good of a fight as you can hope for right now. They dragged it out long enough that the RP came back off cooldown. And really the start of the fight, finding Fata and killing him off is key. I think you have to get on top of this Pugna, because if you don't, it's going to negate all of the damage from both Monkey King and TA with Decrepify.
Look at that Skewer. The toss of the Tiny into that RP as well adds a 4th hero into the mix, and they have such good, I mean, they have the side blades, they have the cleave. I'm sure they empowered the Monkey King while he was in that situation. He's got Boundless Strike he can throw down.
Yeah, all right. They're alive. Look at the win expectancy for the game off of that. That was one really good fight. That's a dip. Still clearly NIP favored.
Yeah, 24% chance for the Dire, but it was better than the 5% that they had before.
They're gaining ground, and NIP will probably get another Roshan, and then you need to do another amazing hold. If they go for Rosh now, I think it's theirs. There's 40 seconds on RP, but NIP seem a little bit hesitant. They have all spells ready, and they have a bear ready to go, but they'll take the shrine first.
With no RP and having Golem, I figured, you know, just run straight into the Roshan pit, but...
Yeah, I thought they were going to do that too.
Play cautious. I guess the shrine does help you take Roshan right, so...
Yeah, it also give the enemy RP again though, so now they made that choice. They chose the map control over the cooldown. And Anvorgesa have a decent push on the mid lane as well that NIP will have to solve. This is very crazy from Stinger, what's happening right now. He should be getting charged immediately.
And he has nobody to help him out unless he can run a bit farther down river. The rest of the team can join him. Sox is going to be able to get the Nether Strike, another bash, hopefully, to be able to stun up Stinger. And
good call, Cap. There it is.
Him. Oh, I'm so good. There's going to be the Decrepify.
And a root. All right, that's why you're in the play-by-play. I can't call the spells.
Don't worry, Sin. You're just rusty.
Yeah.
You'll get it back.
Okay. Next route I'll call. It'll be there.
In time for the finals. I believe in you. 20-minute bounty runes. This time, Anvorgesa will be able to grab
2?
Only 1 because the bear got the other one.
Oh, the bear got the other one. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's going to fear him to grab the 4th one, too.
Oh, if he would connect the charge here, too.
Are you with me on this, Syndrin? Are you with me on Ice Frog should take away the bear's ability to grab bounty runes?
I thought you wanted to start playing Lone Druid against Monkey King. Don't you want that then?
No, actually. No? I really don't want to have to play a micro hero. I don't want people to laugh at me, Syndrin.
Okay. Then you shouldn't play at all. No offense, though.
Oh, that's why you're joining me on the casting desk, right, Sin? It's the two of us together.
Ride or die, baby.
11-9. 21 minutes in, a 5,000 net worth lead for Ninjas in Pyjamas. And Anvorgesa, I'm not sure what Stinger was doing in mid lane, but he's back, he's alive, and he can join the rest of his team for another climactic team fight.
Wait, what?
Around the Roshan pit.
I feel like I just had a weird bug with gold. Okay, anyway. I was clicking the bear and it said it had 4,000 gold, but nobody in the game has 4,000 gold. I don't know what it was fetching that from. That was a bit strange. It's not there anymore. Maybe he... Oh, whatever. He's going to get the Solar Crest in...
Great story, Syndrome.
Yeah, I mean, like,
we'll come
very
back later
interesting.
for more as we're going to focus on the mid lane fight against the bear.
Yeah, he's getting the Solar here after this wave, more than likely. No, there was one deny from Chris Luck, so we'll take a little bit longer. I would imagine they get the Solar Crest and then they try to go Roshan.
Yeah.
Probably off of making an aggressive smoke move that ideally finds the Magnus. If this guy's out of play, I just don't see the Dire taking a team fight without a good RP. They really need the type of RP that they got in the last move.
Right. And you don't think there's any way Nip can just play for Roche and force Anvorgesa into them?
Yes, they could. They could just go and start hitting it with the bear.
Yeah, just let the bear do the work.
I just think it's a higher risk play. Also because Roshan has been getting quite a lot of buffs. I don't think you just kill Roche with the bear. It takes way too long. You probably need the Sven God Strength to go for the Roche kill. And it still takes a decent amount of time. And then if Anvorgesa delay you, then you suddenly don't have God Strength for a potential fight. So
here comes that
there's
smoke.
The smoke. Oh,
They
this
have the
guy's
charge,
toast,
which
man. He's
Monkey
totally
King-
alone.
Why do they keep on? Well, he has his BKB. Hopefully he doesn't get ensnared up, or else that'll really kill things. He needs to charge it out of Soxa to be able to get a Boundless Strike lifesteal hit, but he can't do that, so he gives up on it, throws out the damage. The Golem's going to be dropped. Eventually the Monkey King is found, and Jericho now Fatal bonded up to Whisper, who's charged by Soxa as well. They're just ignoring Jericho and go for the extra kill. As you said, it's all important to be able to kill this Magnus. Without the RP, Anvorgesa can't possibly fight. 3 dead, no buybacks, and they don't even have to worry about Roshan. They can just go for the high ground. If they buy back, we go Roche. If they don't, we've got another lane of Rax.
I think they're getting 2 lanes here. They're going to get top and mid if they play fast. Oh, there's a cliff. Okay, they only get 1. But they will get this lane. The Bear and the Sven hitting and the Pugna Blast should be enough to take a full lane. And they will realize the buybacks aren't available now. If they had them, they would have burned them by now, so they're ready to full commit. Take this lane, back off. NIP have 2 choices now. They can wait for the next Golem if they want, or they can see, depending on what items they buy up, maybe they fancy going high ground again, or they can go and try their luck with Roshan. But actually, I kind of dislike the Roshan play overall. Without God Strength, I just think it's way too slow, and there is the risk of getting smoked out. So,
I mean, Anvorgesa, especially since you know they're going to be feeling desperate, they're very likely to try and move into you. Better to just play it a little passive, playing some high ground areas.
yeah. Uh-oh.
Okay, sleep on one, Fiend's Grip on the other, but there's always the problem of this Bear. Now the root doesn't actually stop the channeling, so they still get the full duration on 33. Finish him up. Now the RP, the Crep buy did buy the 33 Bear a lot of time, but it managed to finish off Fada. 33 inside the Wukong's command is falling fast. Here comes the Templar Assassin as well with the Death. Add in that minus armor. They're going to kill the Bear first, an extra 300 gold. Then take 33. Anvorgesa did want to force a fight, and Ninjas the Pyjamas were not as prepared for it as they thought they were. As a result, they're going to lose out on Roshan potentially. That's why 33 is going to buy back. But Fada still dead for 20 seconds. Anvorgesa feeling like they can't take it.
NIP were a little bit out of position there, and they gave an opening. Nice play from Anvorgesa to just go for it straight away. Take the chance, go for the move. Killing off the Warlock quickly. I think maybe Fatal Bonds weren't even cast in that fight.
No BKB on this Monkey King. They know it. They lead off with the Storm Hammer. Soxa hit by the trap slow when he was charging it again. Really stalled them out.
Oh, okay. Roche is full HP.
Bounty
Let's see if NIP fancy. I think they could take the 2 bounties top and just wait. Or are they going to start? Okay, they're going to try it. They're not going to pop the God Strength yet, I would imagine. Just slowly but steadily poking it down with Bear and Sven. This is the only Bear that 33 has. Remember, he bought back and used the resummon. So there's 70 seconds before he has a second one, but it's very, very tanky.
Yeah, Anvorgesa aren't going to fight this. And I don't really think they should without Wukong's command and RP.
Yeah. That's NIP's prize for that fight happening, basically, is that they secure this Roche. It's either this way or by winning the fight first and then going here. It's kind of the same logic, right? Like, there's key abilities missing. You're going to grab this now. You take the Aegis on the Sven, actually. I thought they were going to give it to Londroid since he doesn't have buyback, but and Sven being a transformation hero. This is a little bit surprising to me. I would rather have seen it on 33, but regardless, it's still good for them to get that Aegis.
Trying to finish off the tier 1 tower bottom lane. They know the charge is coming onto the Templar Assassin. They're going to leave Stinger to be able to finish off, and he actually blinked before Ace could get a swing in. So they're both going to survive. That was actually nicely done by Anvorgesa.
Yep. Grab the tower. But now they're all 5 in base, and this is the challenging part. NIP is going to come. They're going to come knocking on the front door. They're going to Solar Crest the bear, and it's going to start hitting the racks. And what you can do, you obviously have a bit of delay tactics with Bane, and potentially you can poke a little bit with the TA. But since you can't skewer the bear, unless I'm mistaken, it's hard for them to get it into a bad position where they can actually kill it off. Can you skewer the bear? I think you can skewer it. The bear is weird because sometimes it's a hero and sometimes it's a creep.
It's a hero unit,
and you never really know.
So I have no clue.
Gonna need a Magnus expert on this. Sure, Kyle will tell us afterwards on the panel.
Kyle Magnus? No, Synderen, no.
Actually, Rich said he plays Magnus, so maybe Rich knows.
Pretty sure Rich also said he's never played a game of Dota in his life.
That's wrong. He told me he's played a few hundred games. I mean, I don't know which one is the lie, honestly, though.
Yeah, you never know with Rich. Charge, Stormhammer, and Stinger's going to try and interrupt it as best he can with the Avalanche. That's enough to be able to get off the BKB from Chris Luck. A long Fiend's Grip, and now the RP, but the Fear comes out first.
Clutch.
He almost had all of them. Whisper's going to try and run back in. Wants to catch him, but he doesn't get it off. He died to the bear first before he can pull 33 back inside the Wukong's command. The slept up ace from the Sven. He's been Fiend's Gripped, slept most of this fight. He just hasn't moved a damn muscle. The Sox is going to try and bail him out now with the Spirit Vessel onto Chris Luck. It's going to be close. They need the vision. Will be able to finish him off. The RP comes in. Not enough to save the TA, but enough for K1. Oh, Hector comes in. Wipes out 3. Second life of Ace. 33 still here as well, trying to finish up his bear because he doesn't have another one. But maybe you're thinking, oh no, don't let him get away. He does manage to get the Nightmare. Jericho stops it. Kill the bear. Kill the bear. Get that extra 300 gold because you have won this fight, Anvorgesa.
And what did it cost them? It cost them 2 buybacks against 1. It was not that bad. This was an Aegis and Cheese fight, right? So they buy time again. And I think the absolute key thing in this fight, Sven just being controlled for so long. This is one thing that Bane does excellently. These kind of heroes that depend on running and chasing after targets, if you have good positioning on the Bane and just lock them down forever, the whole God Strength and the Sven BKB were essentially more or less wasted in that engagement.
And all of a sudden, it's Anvorgesa. Wow. They had their lane pushed in before 20 minutes at top. But at 28 minutes, they're now banging on the tier 3 at mid. Might be able to take it and get back for Shrines. Don't think they can really go for Raxes, even with 25 seconds of the Lone Druid. BKB activated with the Stormhammer to take that tier 3. Now, Chris Luck may feel like he has to commit for more, but I don't believe they should. Anvorgesa, good discipline. Making sure not to get caught here. Just because they've won a couple of fights does not mean they can continue to win these big engagements without RP.
They need RP every fight. It's the difference maker. Actually, in that fight, I'm not sure if you noticed, but Whisper wanted to get the perfect RP, so we're going to see that soon in this replay. He's going to blink. I think this will be after the buyback of Pugna coming back. You see on the left side here, he wants to blink skewer the Pugna into the RP, but he misses. And as a result of this, the TA actually died. If he would have RP'd the other 2 heroes and not gone for the Pugna kill, perhaps they could have saved the buyback of Chris Luck there, and that would have been an absolutely massive win.
The funny part was he still got the RP on Fada. Fada juked it and ran into the RP AoE anyway.
Yeah, that's still good for Anvorgesa. I thought the game would be over now. To be completely honest with you, I thought NIP were just going to cruise this one to victory. But a couple of missteps. That's how it goes against Magnus. You can't make these big mistakes. And
what's that win percentage looking like? Is it?
It's dipping. It's 70 now.
It's dipping more and more.
Uncle Gaben has seen Magnus go late game. He has seen it.
That damn bear, man, picking up. It just seems so unfair to me. You can 5-stack one side, and the bear can play the other side. It can jump to you anytime if there's a fight.
But what about Meepo? Meepo can take all 4 rooms.
Yeah, but there's an inherent risk with Meepo that if you catch that real Meepo, if you catch the bear,
so
you get 300 gold.
So you're saying bears are not worth as much as Meepos?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Absolutely.
All right, I got Peta on the phone right now.
You got who?
Peta on the
Oh,
phone.
Peta.
Peta? Peta Pandam?
I thought you said something very different, Syndra.
I don't even know what you thought. You can tell me later. Okay, let's see. I wonder what NIP are going to do here, actually, if they're going to just wait out the next Roshan. They have a good aggressive ward around this this trap right now that's going to be taken out by Ace, and if they can play zone control here and not let Monkey King scout, it gets very difficult for Anvorgesa to open a fight.
I mean, especially since both game 1 and game 2, their biggest strength has been outmaneuvering Anvorgesa when it comes to like the macro game of split pushing and such. And then on top of that, with these bounty runes, another Roshan coming up, it just makes sense to, I think, control the map and secure your advantage a little bit more.
Yeah, and they're scaling a lot too. It's not only the Magnus that's going to scale. The Sven is getting really big, and of course they will be able to kill the Roshan relatively quickly once it spawns with the Daedalus. And I think what NIP are hoping for is that Anvorgesa is going to give them a freebie. They know there's no buyback on the TA, they know there's no buyback on the Magnus, so if they find either of these two, they probably straight up end the game.
So if NIP do just kind of play to control the map, play in high ground areas, wait for Anvorgesa to kind of run into them, as you said, kind of give them a freebie, how should Anvorgesa be playing this?
It depends if they have any smokes left. I think they've burnt all of them. I feel like we've seen them smoke a lot in this game. Is there one on the courier right now? No, that's a sentry ward. That doesn't work like that.
None on the heroes.
Yeah, I don't think they have smokes. It makes it really difficult to exit the base. If you don't have a smoke and you feel cornered, and you don't have an Invis hero that can scout, they could technically try the Monkey King and take the risk and jump him in and hope that he gets some vision, like they're doing right now, but they're doing this because they see NIP on their own top ward. That's why they feel confident moving in.
So the other play, if you don't have a smoke, you have to eliminate the vision of the enemy team. And that's what the Bane's trying to do right now. He's throwing sentries all over the place, trying to kill the aggressive vision of NIP so they can move outside of the base without being completely red. They see a small opportunity where Saksha shows himself kind of deep. Can't catch him, though, thanks to that bulldoze. K1's got to be careful, though. Ace. Does he have a Quelling Blade or anything to cut down trees? Do at least have the Spirit Breaker charge. They are going to be able to just quickly take out Jericho. Ace, he did not like the way the last team fight went, where he was Fiend's Grip forever. Now, at the same time, Peter Pan Dam is going to go down without getting off his golem. The Wukong's command goes out, but Ace just ignoring it and continue to go for this Tiny. He wants to get rid of the Disabler as best as possible. 33, jumped on by Chris Luck. Savage roars. Whisper is trying to get away from this damn bear. K1's not going to help him out at all, as now he's going to be charged on through Hector, and will be able to stun him up until Stinger comes in with a good avalanche. But there's another Savage roar with Vada in the side, just draining the Monkey King out. None of them have buyback, so now it's just the Tiny and the TA holding against what is going to be a very fast push from Ninjas in Pyjamas. We already talked about how Pugna and this Lone Druid can tear apart towers now that Ace is hitting pretty hard as well. All they need is a few seconds to be able to get tier 3 and the mid lane of Barracks and possibly call this a full Megas.
Yeah, 30 seconds is more than enough for them to go and take bottom.
Especially if Ace makes another initiation, he just keeps on going for Jericho. Never again will he let himself be Fiend scripted into an enfeeble sleep. He's just going to keep on going for that 5 position. Singer tossing him up in the air, just trying to kill the bear, which is doing so much damage to these buildings. They will manage to kill it.
Courier. He really wanted the courier.
But
for
a fresh
no
bear
reason.
being summoned, and they just get Megas.
Yeah.
That's it.
I still think Anvorgesa is going to play the game in the hope that they can find a good team fight and maybe make an all-in push with their Empower. They can take buildings really fast. They have Deso. But yeah, now they're kind of at the mercy of NIP slipping up, especially if they have no smoke still. Roshan is about to respawn in 1 minute 30 seconds. NIP can go and grab that, get Aegis Cheese, and a random choice between Aghanim Scepter and Refresher Shard. Never really know which one it is, and the other team doesn't either. You can tell that I'm not a big fan of this mechanic.
What was that voice? Was that like a nerdy, sophisticated nerd?
I don't know. I'll be happy with that.
It was your voice of disapproval. You don't like it.
I love the addition of the Aghanim Shard on the Roche. I personally
just don't like the RNG.
I personally would like the third Roche to always give the same, or if you keep it the way it is now, then you alert the enemy team who picked up Aghanim Scepter Shard, if there is one, like it does with the Aegis, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that it's like the burden of knowledge. I find it a bit weird personally, but
yeah, I could see what you're talking about. There are enough Ags that like brutally change the game that with the accent you should be able to know.
Yeah, and beforehand you knew there was a refresher shard in play, right? So you wouldn't know who had it, but you know it's in play. But when Roche gets killed, the third Roche gets killed, you don't know what's in play.
Right.
And that's kind of a burden on the losing team.
That makes sense.
So, yeah. Anyway. Roche, 20 seconds, NIP clearly just waiting for it. Their waves are pushing in again. Traps cannot kill these mega creeps. They're just way too strong. So Chris Luck has to do it by hand.
How droll.
And this Roche is spawning in just a second. NIP is going to make really quick work of that and push for the game.
How many TA traps do you think it takes to kill a mega creep?
Does he have the...
He has the trap damage.
I'm looking
Do
at
the
it right
math
now.
for us, Cinder.
3.
And I'll talk about
You need 3.
meaningless 3.
3 traps for a
All right,
mega
line it up, Chris Luck.
Uh-oh. Peter?
They almost picked off Peter. Stinger can't quite do enough damage. Now the Monkey King's going to be able to jump this time around. Peter does manage to get off the Golem in time, and he's going to be decrepit as well. Look at Ace. Again, he's just like, nope, where's the Bane? Finds him, kills him. Now I can play the rest of my team fight out. He tries to go for Whisper. Whisper with the skewer. RP doesn't quite catch Peter, but where's the damage? There is none because KY got totally controlled up by the Spirit Breaker, and Chris Luck was trying to deal with Ace, but as it is, Anvorgesa knows that it is all over. They've been 2-0'd by Ninjas the Pyjamas, and they'll take the elevator down to the lower bracket.
They made them work for it, though. Like I said, I thought this was going to be a 20 to 25 minute win, especially when we saw how the first 10 to 15 played out. But a couple of good team fights from Anvorgesa and maybe a little bit of overconfidence from NIP did delay this game a bit, but in the end, the expected outcome does come through. And Kyle's curse, it was trying to make its way in. But NIP were very resistant.
It was the only thing that was powering Anvorgesa at that point.
And they do take the win. So NIP top 3. Their next series will be against Alliance, I believe, tomorrow. Or is it the last game of the day?
It is a game today.
This is the last game of the day, I think.
Yeah.
The winners final.
So we only have the lower bracket and finals tomorrow.
Yeah. Yes, so that should be. Yep. Okay. So we'll see NIP in action later today against Alliance.
That'll definitely be a hype matchup. Europe versus Europe. As a European yourself, who do you think actually has the advantage? NIP has classically been the stronger team, but Alliance is surging. I feel like they're in the best form they've been all year.
When I see games like these from NIP where they play like these different strategies and, for example, utilize the Chen and they play this like pushing timing with Lone Druid Pugna and they pull these things out of the bag, I feel like they have a little bit more maybe depth than Alliance have in terms of overall strategic options. But I have really liked Alliance execution in some of their games in terms of fighting. So I think it could get really close. I slightly favor NIP.
It'll be an exciting upper bracket final. Of course, it's going to be an exciting elimination match, as we're not going to be saying goodbye to Anvorgesa just yet. They have a match against Sirius, which is going to be coming up soon as well. So break time, more series to go. We've got 2 more series today. Don't go anywhere.
Observing is something where I feel like I would actually push the whole craft forwards. I could give people something that they would enjoy.